Welcome back to the Daily Dialogue. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by Sophia. Today, we're tackling a topic that is often considered taboo or uncomfortable, but it dictates almost every decision we make. We're talking about money, and specifically, its complicated relationship with happiness.
Hi Alex. There's that famous saying, money can't buy happiness. But I've always thought that whoever said that probably never had to worry about paying their rent or fixing a broken car in the middle of winter. It feels like money might not buy joy, but it definitely buys peace of mind.
Exactly. It's easy to be philosophical about money when you have enough of it. Scientists have actually studied this, and there is a very real saturation point. Up to a certain level of income, usually enough to cover your basic needs, health, and a bit of comfort, every extra dollar significantly increases your happiness.
Because it removes stress. If you aren't constantly calculating the price of eggs at the supermarket, your brain has more room for creativity and relationships. But what happens after that point? If I win the lottery tomorrow and move into a mansion, will I be 10 times happier than I am now?
Surprisingly, the answer is usually no. Once your basic needs are met, the curve of happiness flattens out. This is because of hedonic adaptation, which we've mentioned before. Your new normal shifts. The mansion becomes just the house, and you start worrying about the lawn, the taxes, and whether your neighbors have a bigger pool than you.
So, we're back to the comparison trap. It's not about how much I have, it's about how much I have compared to the people around me. If I make $100,000 but all my friends make $200,000, I feel poor. But if I make $50,000 and all my friends make $30,000, I feel like a king.
It's called relative deprivation. Our brain is an evolutionary machine designed to track our status in the tribe. Money has become our status scorecard. We use it to measure our value, which is a dangerous game because there is always someone with a higher score.
I think we also need to talk about the work-money trade-off. Many people chase a higher salary but end up losing their time wealth. They earn more money, but they have zero time to spend it with their family or on their hobbies. They are rich in cash but poor in life.
Time poverty is a real epidemic. People are literally trading their limited years of life for numbers in a bank account. And for what? To buy a more expensive car that they only drive to a job they hate. It's a tragic cycle. But we are told from a young age that success equals wealth.
And then there's the debt trap. We live in a buy now, pay later culture. We use credit to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like, using money we don't actually have yet. That creates a constant low-level panic in the background of our lives.
Debt is like a weight on your soul. It's hard to feel happy when you know you are owned by a bank. True wealth isn't about how much you can buy, it's about how much you can refuse. It's the freedom to say no to a toxic boss or a boring project.
That is true financial freedom. It's not about the private jet, it's about the safety net. But Alex, if we do have some extra money, how can we spend it to actually get a happiness boost? Is there a right way to be a consumer?
That is exactly what we are going to dive into in part 2. We'll talk about experiences versus things, the pro-social spending effect, and why buying a coffee for a stranger might make you happier than buying a new pair of shoes for yourself.
I'm ready to learn how to spend wisely. Let's take a quick break.
And we are back. Before the break, Sophia, we were talking about how once our basic needs are met, more money doesn't automatically mean more smiles. But there is a way to use money to increase your happiness. It's not about what you buy, but how you spend it.
I've heard this before, the idea that we should buy experiences instead of things. But honestly, Alex, if I buy a new designer bag, I have it forever. If I go to a concert, it's over in 3 hours. My logical brain says the bag is a better investment. Why am I wrong?
It's a very common logical error. But here's the psychology: things get old, but experiences get better. When you buy a bag, hedonic adaptation kicks in almost immediately. After a month, it's just a bag. It's part of the background of your life. You stop noticing it.
And then I start looking for the next bag to get that same hit of excitement. It's a never-ending cycle.
Exactly. But an experience, like a trip to Italy or a cooking class, lives in your memory. We have this amazing ability called rosy retrospection. Over time, our brain edits our memories. We forget the long lines at the airport or the rain during the hike, and we only remember the laughter and the beautiful views.
So, the investment is in our mental library. I've noticed that when I talk about my travels, I feel happy all over again. I'm consuming the experience many times, even years later. I don't usually sit around and talk to my friends about my vacuum cleaner.
Unless it's a really amazing vacuum cleaner. But you're right. Experiences also connect us to other people. You share a meal or a sunset with someone, and that builds a social bond. Objects often isolate us, we sit alone with our gadgets, but experiences bring us together.
What about buying time? You mentioned time poverty earlier. Can money actually give me more hours in the day?
In a way, yes. This is one of the smartest ways to spend money. If you hate cleaning your house or mowing the lawn, and you can afford to pay someone else to do it, you aren't just buying a clean house, you are buying back your Saturday. You are buying freedom.
That's a huge shift in perspective. Instead of thinking, I'm spending $50 on a cleaner, I should think, I'm buying 4 hours of time to read, walk, or play with my kids. That $50 suddenly feels like a bargain for my mental health.
Precisely. Use money to outsource the things you hate, so you can spend your life energy on the things you love. But there's another way to spend money that is even more powerful for happiness: pro-social spending.
Spending on others? I mean, I love buying gifts for my friends, but does that really make me happier than buying something for myself?
Science says yes. There was a famous study where people were given $5 or $20. Half were told to spend it on themselves, and half were told to spend it on someone else or a charity. At the end of the day, the people who spent it on others were significantly happier.
That's the helper's high. It makes us feel like we are part of something bigger than ourselves. It moves our focus from what am I missing, to what can I give. It's a direct hit to the scarcity mindset we talked about.
It creates a positive feedback loop. When you give, you feel like a source of value, not just a sink for products. And that leads us to the ultimate secret of money and happiness: enough-ness.
Enough-ness. That sounds like the hardest thing to achieve in a world of constant advertising. How do we know when we have enough?
Enough is a moving target if you let society define it. But if you define it, it's a superpower. It's the ability to say, I have a roof over my head, I have food in my fridge, I have people who love me, and I have enough to do what I enjoy. The rest is just noise.
It's about internal wealth. If you aren't happy with $1,000, you probably won't be happy with $1 million. You'll just have more expensive problems. Money is a multiplier, it makes you more of who you already are. If you're a generous person, money makes you more generous. If you're an anxious person, money just gives you more things to be anxious about.
Beautifully said, Sophia. Money is a tool, not a destination. It's like a car, it can take you to beautiful places, but if you don't know how to drive, or if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to crash.
So, the final advice for our listeners: stop chasing the number and start chasing the life. Use money to buy experiences, buy time, and help others. And most importantly, learn to recognize when your cup is already full.
The cup is full. I'm going to go enjoy a cup of coffee right now and feel like the richest man in the world.
Me too. Thanks for this wealthy conversation, Alex. I feel like my inner bank account is overflowing.
My pleasure. And thank you to everyone listening. We hope this helps you find your own money paradox and turn it into life happiness.
See you in the next episode of the Daily Dialogue. Stay rich in life, stay human.
Bye everyone.
Bye.